Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your April 2020 general readings. We're looking at the first half of April from the 1st through the 15th. This reading is for the water sign of Scorpio. Welcome to everyone who's joining us here today, first-comers and first-timers and newcomers, and welcome back to followers and subscribers. Thank you for all of your likes, your shares, for subscribing to this channel, for everything that you do in support of this YouTube channel. Thank you so much. So this reading is for the water sign of Scorpio, Scorpio sun, moon, rising, if your Venus is in Scorpio, or if you're cross-watching for Scorpio as well. General readings do always resonate a little differently for everyone. So if you know your other signs, I strongly recommend watching those as well for additional information and to help kind of clarify what's going on in your life right now. If any of these readings do resonate with you and you'd like to take a deeper look at something or reach out for a personal one-on-one reading or information on a reading, you can click on the description link below and click on the little arrow that pulls down information, and you'll see some info there in my contact details. Feel free to contact me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. I do offer a lot of different types of readings in all the main areas of life. And I do readings full time. It's all that I do. So I'm pretty diligent at working with everyone's schedules and my own to get readings out to you or scheduled with you in as timely a fashion as possible. So I look forward to hearing from those of you who are interested. Okay, Scorpio, let's move right into this reading. Let us see what April 1st to the 15th has in store for you. For those of you who need or want to know, I am using the Legacy of the Divine Tarot by artist Ciro Marchetti. Okay, Scorpio, we begin quite powerfully with the Chariot, followed by the Six of Swords. We have the Ace of Swords, followed by the Ten of Cups. And from the bottom of the deck, overall energy for the first half of April is the Seven of Cups. So overall energy for the first half of April, the Seven of Cups. Cups is governed by the element of water. This is often about our emotional landscape, feelings, relationships, dreamy energy, watery energy. The Seven of Cups is a card that can represent, it can be dreamy illusions, sometimes delusions, fantasy, building castles in the sky, daydreaming about a lot of different options. Each one of these cups, these goblets, are filled with something beautiful, perfect. What it basically represents is the possibility or potential of a variety of different options. We all need to dream. But the cautionary advice with the Seven of Cups is it takes much more than this dreamy, watery energy to actually decide on one of these options and physically manifest it in reality. It takes a plan and work and all of that. So sometimes the Seven of Cups can be a card of, having your head kind of in the clouds. But it's also a card that represents looking at and fantasizing about, what options and potential there is for you out there in whatever area of your life this resonates with. And I'm actually kind of feeling that for many of you. I don't think that for many of you Scorpios for the first half of April, this is actually not a card. I don't feel like you're kind of living in illusion or delusion. It's a card of kind of looking out or looking inwards and kind of thinking about everything that may be possible or accessible for you. But it's usually, the Seven of Cups is usually a card about the future or the possibilities of something yet to come still. It looks like a lot of you are in the midst of a healing process. And I think a lot of you have taken some pretty decisive action to end something, to shift something so that there's healing in your life. We have the Chariot, clarified by the Six of Swords. So the Chariot is a very powerful major arcana card of success. It speaks of being very ambitious, very driven, which means you have a goal. You have something that you want in mind. And the Chariot is a card that represents reaching that goal, winning through perseverance, fortitude, determination, pulling together all the resources, all the experience, everything you have in order to move forward in a very powerful, assertive way to achieve success. You win because you refuse to give up. And you work together to accomplish whatever that goal is. It's a very powerful success card. Now, clarifying it is the Six of Swords, which is a card of healing, particularly on an internal mental level, because swords is governed by the element of air, which is an element that governs our mind, belief systems, ideologies, truth, wisdom, enlightenment, higher education and learning, how we communicate, how we use our words to communicate. It's all about what goes on up in our heads. The Six of Swords depicts someone who's moving through the water. The water that she's moving through is fairly calm, placid, serene. She's left the worst behind her, or he left the worst behind them, which would have been muddy, choppy, turbulent waters. She's moving through calmer waters towards something, towards a goal, which you're doing here in the Chariot. This is a card of healing, of peace, of restoration. It represents a healing process, so it's transitional. You're not quite to the other shore and on solid ground yet, but you're definitely moving towards whatever it is that the goal is. Sometimes, because the Six of Swords often represents a healing period, especially in the early stages of a healing period, it's more about recuperation. And sometimes there are good days and bad days. But overall, you're moving away from the source of whatever has caused the pain or hurt or turbulence or conflict, and you're moving towards a better place very decisively. I get the feeling that some of you have cut something out of your life. I mean, we have two swords cards, Chariot, two cup cards. I think you've woken up to something, and because of that, you've made the Chariot represents taking your control into your hands, taking your destiny, your path into your own hands. And you've used that to make decisions to cut or transform something in your life because you've realized that it's not moving you towards where you want to be. And you're very aggressively and assertively taking control of your life and making the decisions, whatever those decisions are, to move forward. I think because there's been some kind of an enlightenment. Next, we have the Ace of Swords, followed by the Ten of Cups. And the Ace of Swords is sitting next to the Chariot. So here's another swords card, mental energy. Aces represent seeds, the number one, a new beginning, a new opportunity. So the Ace of Swords comes in and it cuts away any extraneous fantasy or illusion and exposes and illuminates something for being its absolute, what it actually is, the truth of its actual essence, what it actually is, illumination. This can also represent a new idea, kind of the light bulb going off over your head, seeing something in a brand new perspective, but that perspective is reality. And so what that does, sometimes the Ace of Swords illuminates or clarifies a truth in a reality that might be difficult to accept, like a situation you once thought was one thing, actually is this other thing, and this is what it actually is. But what the Ace of Swords does, Scorpio, is it gives us an opportunity with that truth and reality in front of us. It gives us the opportunity to make decisions and take action to create a healthier reality for ourselves, particularly in our minds. So very powerful energy here. So what clarifies the Ace of Swords is the Ten of Cups, which is the happy home card. I love the artwork on this one. The deck that I used to use most often for my generals, the Gilded Tarot, also by Cyril Marchetti. The Ten of Cups actually showed a beautiful cottage with two people out in front and, bunny rabbits, and it's a beautiful day. Happy home card, happily ever after card. Tens do represent cycle fulfillment, something either coming to a completion point. So the Ten of Cups is, the happy home card, the Ten of emotion. The 10 of a suit represents the absolute most of the energy of that suit. So the Ten of Cups is lovely. This is being at the place where you feel like everything has finally come together in what you want, in the way that you want, particularly in regards to home and family, because sometimes the Ten of Cups can represent marriage, childbirth, blessings, feeling like you're just at a place, especially where home and family is concerned. You have that harmony, that contentment, everything's kind of come together. The artwork in this one is kind of delightful because it's got this cozy crackling fire and the dog and the cat kind of snuggled up next to it, and it just represents contentment and harmony in home and family, whatever that means to you. So this clarifies the Ace of Swords. So whatever this epiphany is that you've had, it's about either home and family or relationships, marriage, something that connects to that. For example, in a relationship reading or a romance reading, this might be more you've made a decision that maybe you've invested in a particular relationship or a job or some other kind of situation, something that affects your home and family. And you've been perhaps investing a great deal in it and maybe feeling rather depleted, or something about it isn't working. It's not getting you what you want. It's not bringing you closer to the vision of what you want in this area of your life. You've had some kind of epiphany or realization of this, and you've decided to take control over actually having that, manifesting that beautiful, happy home, whatever that means to you in your life. So you're making a decision. It feels to me like you have left something behind or cut something out because of this, or you're in the process of doing that. Because the Six of Swords is a card that strongly implies healing, which means that whatever you had to do in order to move away from the source of the choppy water was probably difficult for you to do. And healing represents that there are usually some painful times to that, or challenging times for that, because that's the part of the healing process, particularly in the early stages. But you made the decision to do it because you knew it was in your better interest, for the greater good, for your ultimate joy and fulfillment because of this. And it's something that connects with home and family. So, this is a general reading. It's going to mean different things to different people. It could be the kind of relationship you ultimately want, the kind of marriage you ultimately want, the kind of home you want, or the kind of perhaps, job or career or financial structure that you want in order to have that happy home. I mean, it could be a variety of different things. It could be about relationship or home, or it could be about something that strongly influences and affects that happy home. You've decided that whatever path you were on wasn't working for you. So you're taking charge, you're taking the control back in order to free yourself from that and move forward on a path where you are able to achieve that. You're driving this chariot. You're just driving it towards that, in this healing process. Interesting. Let's clarify this kind of enlightenment that led to this healing. Ace of Swords. What is this Ace of Swords? Ace of Swords and Six of Swords. What is this about? The Knight of Swords. So this is information delivered. Some kind of, it's like you received some information or communication or conversation, or perhaps because of some kind of communication or conversation, you had some kind of epiphany, some kind of realization. Here's another Swords card. Lots of Swords energy here. The Queen of Swords. So even if it's difficult for her emotionally, she will take that sword of truth because she has reached the mastery of her suit. She'll take that sword of truth and she'll cut everything out that doesn't work in a realistic, practical sort of way, even if it's difficult for her emotionally, because the Queen of Swords has walked a long path. She has a wealth of experience and knowledge and wisdom. That path has not been easy, but it's given her this experience and wisdom to set her own emotions kind of to the side and examine something for what it actually is and make decisions based on that. Right behind it is the High Priestess, trusting your intuition that this is the best thing for you. I think that it looks like, Scorpio, in your recent past, and this of course could be ongoing for some of you right now, you have made or in the process of making a decision, taking action, taking steps to create a healthier reality for yourself moving forward, even though I think for a lot of you it's by making decisions and taking action that's difficult, because you intuitively know that it's going to put you on a path that's going to open you up to the very real possibility of having what you truly want. I don't really think that there's any, advice and guidance necessary, because I think you're already doing with the High Priestess here what you have, what God's Spirit, your angels and guides have kind of led you to and through this process. I'm just going to pull one card to see what comes next. Oh, Ace of Wands. Here's another ace, another new beginning, another new start, an opportunity. This one is the Ace of Wands, which is governed by the element of fire. In the tarot, fire is, well, it's fiery, it's passionate, it's exciting and enthusiastic, artistic, creative. This is the suit of wands is about action, change, movement, powerful, forward moving activity. So there's an exciting new beginning, a passion fueled, you're starting over again. And it's really quite beautiful. And it does represent let me see if I can cohesively kind of state this. So fire energy, which is the suit of wands, this is about taking action to create changes, to build things, often in a very physical way. And so sometimes some of you may be actually physically removing yourself from an environment, because the Six of Swords can actually represent physically moving away from the source of that. So you may be doing that too. This is the Ace of Wands represents what's to come next. We're only looking at a short period of time, like the first half of April. So perhaps for some of you, in the last half of April, you're actually taking physical steps. You're beginning this, a brand new journey, kind of starting over again, and feeling very excited and enthusiastic and fresh about it, which is likely too why your overall energy for the first half of April is the Seven of Cups. You're actually envisioning or imagining and kind of fantasizing and daydreaming about what the possibilities are, a little ways down the future, as you move through the remnants of dealing with and healing from, whatever the challenge or conflict has been. It's truly a beautiful, beautiful reading, Scorpio. Kind of one of those, phoenix rising from the ashes kind of energy. So Scorpio, that is your reading for the first half of April. I hope that you enjoyed it and found it helpful and useful, because that's why we do these. Again, if any of these readings do resonate with you and you'd like to reach out for a personal reading or information on that, just click on the description link below, click on that little arrow. You can email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be most happy to work with you. And I can usually respond to initial inquiries with more information the same day or within the first 24 hours. So I look forward to hearing from you. I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks for the April 2020 mid-month general readings. Until then, as always, I wish you much joy, love, success. And I hope to see you back here again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.